Sector Wars, play Astro Blaster.
If you destroy my baby,
Intruder alert. The intruder must not escape.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight.
you will be destroyed soon.
Prepare to qualify.
Oh, warrior needs food badly.
Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And this time we're going to look at a game called Scramble Spirits. And this is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up created in 1988 by Sega for their System 24 hardware. It was released on several different home platforms as well, like Sega Master System, Amiga, Commodore 64, etc. It's got pretty darn good graphics for 1988 and pretty decent action, although it's a bit on the hard side, I would say. You don't get power-ups per se. You get, it's kind of weird that it's sideways for just that screen. But, you get to pick up option fighters, secondary planes, and you can either switch them down to make them fly lower and fire missiles at the enemy, or you can press the same button to make them fly back up next to you, or you can press a third button that will make them do this kamikaze attack, and you may or may not be able to retrieve them after that attack. It'll make a wide explosion radius. You can play two-player simultaneous play if you like, or just solo play. Your plane will fire both regular shots and missiles. The missiles can take out the ground targets. And a number of stages will be split into two. And at the conclusion of the first half, you may fly low for a short amount of time and be able to destroy a bunch of enemies for not only points, but hopefully extra bonus points for getting a good percentage of the enemies. There might be a bonus for getting all of them. If it is, I'm afraid I don't know what it is. Those particular airships will release those optional planes that I was telling you about. And I already lost one of them. Yeah, if there I lost the other. But if you have one of those planes, those mini planes, put it to good use. Like I said, you could press a secondary button that will make it change its formation. It'll drop lower, and it will fire exclusively the missiles. Now those missiles that they shoot can take out air and ground targets. And this first stage has two halves, and now we'll fly lower. Here you don't get to use your option planes. They will fly away just for this part. You can take hits. You can be shot and not die on that little part. As far as I know, I mean. At the very least, you can take a whole lot of hits without dying. Now, sometimes there will be, I think, enemies that get shot down, but you can't totally destroy them. This plane has missiles that fly fast at you, so you really got to watch out. And there I died. I've never seen this in arcades. It's a good vertically scrolling shoot 'em up for 1988. Very nice graphics for that year. But it gets a little bit hard, especially if you don't utilize your option fighters as well as you could, because they're especially their missiles. And here is a boss here. Especially their missiles. Whoops. They can here you have to shoot this enemy's sensor enough to open up this hatch and release 3 of these fighters here. And you just have to watch out for the enemy's explosive shot. And when they come close to you, they won't shoot it. Sometimes when you go to a certain stage, the background kind of hides the enemy shots. It's hard to see them, and it's really annoying. But yeah, if you've got one of your option fighters, make use of them. And that is the conclusion of Mission 1, and now we will start Mission 2. But yeah, if you have an option fighter and you press the secondary button, which makes it fly a little lower and fire exclusively missiles that can take out both air and ground targets, those missiles are much stronger against bosses or enemies that take a lot of shots to bring down. And there's another option fighter. During my regular gameplay, I did not utilize these enemies properly, or these option fighters properly. I neglected to continue right here, but I will show you their uses. Like I said, there's one button to fire with. There's a secondary button to change the formation of your option fighters. And yeah, I neglected to continue, but I put in my initials. And then there's the third button that sends them out for the kamikaze attack, and you may not be able to retrieve them. Usually it seems like you can retrieve them. They will float back around and you'll have to pick them back up. I put on invincibility cheat for this go round, and that's why my plane is flashing. Sorry, you're gonna have to put up with that for the rest of the video. But I just wanted to be able to get through the game. There are a total of 6 stages, and there I think I changed their formation so that they're, or maybe not yet. But yeah, if you change their formation with the secondary button, then they will fly lower. There we go. And they will shoot air and ground missiles that are extra tough. And there I sent one out for a kamikaze attack. And it's a wide radius bomb. And if you have 2 fighters and you collect more fighters, you will get just extra points. And consecutive option fighters picked up after that will be an increasing bonus. Yeah, it seems that usually you will be able to pick your option fighters back up. I have lost them before after sending them out on a kamikaze attack. I've never seen this in arcades. It's pretty good for 1988. This was before Raiden came out, and even before vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups were really starting to pick up steam in the arcades. You see that that jet or that plane to the right of me, that's player number 2. And since I'm not playing a 2-player simultaneous play game, they just sit there. Yeah, those missiles, I guess, whatever they are, if you can shoot them down, I don't know if anything special happens. I have not been able to shoot them enough. But we're just going to look at snippets of the rest of the levels or the stages. And this stage has is split into two halves. And you go down low, and there I got a nice bonus for 91%. Yeah, if you can get... That is probably the best place to get points in this game, is the low-flying scenarios. Because you can, at the very least, take a whole bunch of hits before dying. And you can get a nice hefty bonus for all the enemies that you shot. So yeah, if you can make it at least to the first half of the first level, then you should easily get the high score. I think the high score was 50,000, maybe it was 100,000. Well, you could at least get on the high score list easily. But yeah, there are a total of 6 missions. And once you beat all 6 missions, the game will just start all over. The enemies will be tougher, they'll shoot more, there might be new enemies, I don't know for sure. And the bosses will probably be harder to bring down. But yeah, I'd never seen this in arcades. It's very, very good for 1988. And yeah, you get an increasing bonus for more option fighters being picked up. Those get to be pretty hefty bonuses. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. I hope you enjoyed NFL playoff football, if that's your thing. There, I dropped them low again. Try to take down these blimps here. Zeppelins. Guessing that's what they are. Yeah, make use of your option fighters. Use them to use the buttons to make them drop down and shoot stronger both air and ground missiles. Yeah, there's my both my option fighters are gone, and again also use them for kamikaze purposes. You seem to almost always get the opportunity to get them back. They'll fly around after you deploy them, and then you pick them back up. This had a whole lot of home port releases. I think I'd heard about the Sega Master System getting a port of this. I've never played it. I don't know what it looks like on the Sega Master System. I was never a Sega Master System guy, but I sure was a Sega Genesis guy. I also had a Sega CD system. Most recent system I've ever bought was a PlayStation 2, so I'm very old school. I will not even bother trying to keep up with current systems. And here's another time when you go low. Try to take out as many enemy targets as you can. That was pretty close to 100, 96%. Yeah, you get a great bonus from that part there. So if you can make it to the first half and get through that part where you go low and take out enemy targets, you can get plenty of points to start you off in your quest to get the high score. And we'll see at the very least boss fights and the part where you swoop in towards the ground and take out enemy targets. Here you've got to destroy enough of those sensors so that you keep them from flipping over. I can't think right off the top of my head what all other System 24 games there were. Might have been Gain Ground, or maybe that was System 32. And now we go to the last mission, Mission 6. Yeah, if you've never played this one, check it out. It's kind of disappointing that there's no speed up, three-way shot, whatever kind of power-ups, just option fighters. But if you get those option fighters, make sure to make use of their ability to swoop low and fire off really strong missiles and their kamikaze attack. Seems like you should always be able to recollect them after your kamikaze attack, but for some reason that's not always the case, and I don't know why. Really pretty fun game though. Interested in what the Sega Master System version would be like. I was not terribly impressed by the Sega Master System. And this might be the last boss of the game here. And it's actually one of the easier bosses. This isn't its only form. This part is super easy. Just destroy these things because they'll follow you, I think, if you don't. And then just keep firing as you weave back and forth and you'll take out its first form. Now here you just gotta watch out for those missiles. I didn't bother too much because I had invincibility on. But you just keep weaving back and forth and you can fire off a kamikaze attack and seriously wound that core there to take it down. Mission completed, returning to base. And yep, this is the end of Scramble Spirits. There's a little bit of story to the game. Yeah, that's Scramble Spirits by Sega in 1988 on the System 24 hardware. It had a bunch of different home ports. Yeah, the only ones I can think of right off the top of my head are Sega Master System, Amiga, and Commodore 64. Yeah, there was a handful of other releases. I thank you for watching and hope you have a great weekend. Kind of a fun game. Check it out if you've never played it. Yeah, and you start all the missions over. But that was Scramble Spirits by Sega in 1988 on the System 24 hardware. This is Crazy Clown Radio. Say thanks for watching. I hope you continue to have a great weekend and get all the things done that you wanted to do this weekend. I'll catch you later with another video. Bye-bye, folks.